Thank you, Chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate the opportunity to talk about the issue, for fighting corruption and fraud at this session. Here I will focus on the role of the professional accountants, just, auditors. First of all, regarding the role of practicing accountants in fighting corruption and fraud, we should be clear that in providing auditing and assurance services, practicing accountants assume important roles in safeguarding public interests. The practicing accountants also show that with their practices, we have ever played roles in safeguarding public interests with their daily routine work. Now, there is an issue before us, which is that the public interest expect us, practical accountants, to report identified illegal activities to regulatory institutions, while holding responsible for preventing corruption and fraud from damaging the quality of financial statements. Should the practical accountants carry out the reporting responsibility on illegal activities of their clients? If so, how should they strike a balance between satisfying regulatory obligation and keeping confidentiality obligations, and between serving public interests and holding professional responsibilities? The key to the issue is we should distinguish the core role and the extended role of auditing and assurance. Given that the practicing accountants could identify those illegal activities to the extent such activities hinder the financial management and financial information quality. However, the less the illegal activities be related to the requirement transactions and the events reflected in the financial statements, the less likely they are spotted and identified. In this sense, from the professional point of view, practicing accountants are responsible for identifying illegal activities from causing damages to financial statements, rather than for preventing occurrence of such activities at this point, entities. And reporting illegal activities to regulatory organizations can be regarded as extended role of practicing accountants. It is fine that practicing accountants carry out their core role and extended role equally well. However, the latter is not supposed to adversely affect their ability to carry out the former one. Obviously, smooth and effective communication and coordination between practicing accountants and their clients is critical for the accomplishment of auditing targets. Should practicing accountants be required to undertake the reporting responsibility for illegal activities, the audited entities are likely to be overly cautious and even willfully conceal the information or data or just the facts. Hindered communication will affect the fulfillment of practicing accountants' core role of auditing and assurance. Now, I would like to show you how China deals with this issue. Though it is about accountants in business, it is still relevant and helpful along with our consideration of this issue faced by practicing accountants. When the accounting law in China first adopted in 1985, it stated, well, any leading administrative staff of an entity insists on processing receipts and payments, which is believed to violate the law of the state, the accounting department and the staff of such entity should submit a written report and a request to the competent superior authority and report to the auditing office of the government. Those that do not submit such a report should be held responsible for such receipt and payment. In 1999, the accounting law was amended with regard to this article. First, it emphasized that on the accountability of an entity's leadership by stating the person in charge of such business and entity should be responsible for the truthfulness and the integrity of accounting work and accounting information. Second, it revised the part of regarding accounting department and accountant's responsibility for reporting unlawful activities by stating that accounting departments and accountants should have the right rather than obligations to report the matter. In other words, the law defined reporting unlawful activities as a legal right rather than a legal obligation of accountants. Based on the above discussion, I would like to propose the following three suggestions regarding how we should perceive and bring into play by practicing accountants' role in the fighting corruption and fraud. First, practicing accountants should diligently fulfill their professional responsibilities by auditing and assurance work. Secondly, distinguish between positive reporting and passive reporting. Only rational institutional arrangements will help for practicing accountants to do a good job in carrying out their responsibilities and reaching a balance between the public interest and professional responsibilities. We suggest making a distinction of positive reporting and passive reporting when considering the mode of reporting. Positive reporting should be defined and deemed as a right. Practicing accountants may opt for positive reporting to the regulatory institutions in case illegal activities are identified as a right. Positive recording should not be considered as a violation of the confidentiality obligations. Practicing accountants may also choose not to adopt positive reporting. If so, they should not undertake legal responsibility and obligation either. In contrast, passive reporting should be deemed as obligation, which means that despite practicing accountants opt not for making a positive report, they should be liable for a passive reporting. Such obligation is reflected in two aspects. On the one hand, in response to the related inquiries and investigation of the regulators, practicing accountants should cooperate and provide all relevant information acquired and processes, and should not conceal information they discovered along with their auditing. On the other hand, practicing accountants should request that entities involved in illegal activities should report and rectify them, and should consider terminating their engagement with those which refuse to do so, for their credibility is highly questionable. Termination of engagement may be regarded as an important form of practicing accountants' passive reporting. Ladies and gentlemen, please permit me to summarize my words and points into Chinese language for the convenience of fellow Chinese accountants who are a big part of the audience in this session. 各位，今天呢没有同传，我今天呢因为这个场合没有方便的措施，所以我就简单的归纳一下我的观点。随着会计工作、会计信息在公众利益当中处于越来越重要的地位， 随着反腐败成为全球的共同责任，国际会计界、国际公众普遍认识到，要进一步发挥注册会计师的审计在反腐败和舞弊中的作用。其中有一种观点，就是要求注册会计师能够举报他们在审计当中所发现的客户的舞弊的行为。我的观点是，注册会计师固然有责任去报告他们所发现的舞弊的行为，但是呢，不能把这样一件事情作为他们的责任，因为他们的主要的工作是保证会计信息的真实。在这个过程当中，如果一些腐败行为影响到会计信息的真实客观，当然就应该在审计报告当中反映出来。如果给他们赋予一个责任，说一定要举报所有的舞弊行为和腐败行为，会干扰他们自己的审计工作的质量，客户呢就不愿意跟他们合作，就会隐瞒事实，反而把会计师职业的工作受到影响，或者说损害了会计师的核心的责任。所以我建议呢，把会计师的责任呢分为两种，一种是积极的报告责任，一个是消极的报告责任。他积极的报告责任是要以会计信息的真实客观作为他们的工作的对象。消极的报告责任呢，就是他们可以辞去他的客户业务，在调查部门来调查客户的腐败行为的时候，他们有责任100%的责任予以配合。这样呢，既能发挥注册会计师的反舞弊、反腐败的作用，同时又能够保护注册会计师正常的职业责任和职业环境。这就是我的主要的观点。Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your attention.